Hey, what's happening, guys? Welcome back to Rule of Two Review. My name is Rob, and let's talk a little bit about Sonic the Hedgehog, the Nintendo NX, and these third parties. So we all know the big news that came from yesterday, which pretty much everyone has been talking about, and now myself included, was Sega celebrating Sonic's 25th anniversary, Sonic the Hedgehog, I believe at Comic-Con last night. I don't know if it was at Comic-Con or actually where that thing was happening, but they had a live stream, they had a big event, and it was supposed to be a big deal. We were expecting, hopefully, some pretty big Sonic news, but I think a lot of us huge Sonic fans, which I am most definitely a huge Sonic fan, a lot of us probably knew not to get our expectations too high because not only are they typically let down in situations like this anyway, we're also talking about Sonic the Hedgehog, which, as much as I love him, obviously has had a very rocky road and a rocky history since the 90s when he was just the bomb. So we were all, waiting to see what Sega was going to show us as far as Sonic the Hedgehog is concerned. And it's funny because they kind of trolled the audience and the Sega and Sonic fans when they initially released footage of Sonic Mania, which admittedly looks very cool. It's a game coming to, I think, PCs, PS4, and Xbox One. And it seems to be like a pseudo remaster of old 16-bit Sonic games, as well as some new content in that 16-bit formula and graphic style. And overall, I'm actually really excited for that, mostly because it's 16-bit Sonic, and hey, I am a sucker for 16-bit Sonic the Hedgehog. That's like what I grew up in. That was the heyday of my youth and my childhood as a gamer. Oh my freaking god, I think that is such a cool idea. I kind of wish it was a brand new, 100% from the ground up 16-bit Sonic the Hedgehog game, like kind of how they did like Mega Man's 9 and 10, where they were just done like 8-bit Mega Man, but brand new games. Oh my god, if they did that, you guys, I would freaking die. I'd be so happy. But that's not what they're doing. I guess they're remastering stuff and doing some new stuff. Sonic Mania, it looks fine for what it is, but there's no doubt that it wasn't really the game that we were hoping for, that Sonic fans, I should say, were hoping for and wanting to have happen here. And it turns out that, like I said, Sega was trolling us, and at the end of the show, which I did not watch live, by the way, I caught the news as it happened, at the end of the show, they revealed what we were actually hoping to get, which was a brand new console next-generation Sonic the Hedgehog game. So what this game exactly is so far, we don't really know. They just had a CG cinematic trailer, which a lot of Sonic games have, and to be fair, they're almost always awesome. So it's kind of hard to gauge this game as far as the quality so far, but when you look at what it was a really cool trailer, CG, Sonic is running around doing cool stuff. Of course, there's this dichotomy where there's the old school classic Sonic and then the new school looking Sonic, and not the Sonic Boom Sonic, just like the regular new school before Sonic Boom came out. And, it definitely makes people feel like we're looking at Sonic Generations 2, and I definitely will agree with that. It does look like we're going to be getting Sonic Generations 2, which is freaking incredible, super, super cool. And that's basically what happened. Right now, it's called Project Sonic 2017, I think. And the really interesting news, of course, and why you probably tuned into this, was that it was announced for the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, and the Nintendo NX, of all things. How freaking crazy and super cool is that? It's announced for the NX. We now officially have the second confirmed game, Just Dance being the first one from Ubisoft at E3. I know some people want to consider Dragon Quest XI as confirmed for the NX, and I know why you may want to do that, and I hope that turns out to be true. But as far as I'm concerned, the way that whole scenario played out, I'm not taking it as confirmation just yet. It gets exciting to think about it, but, I mean, let's be honest, guys. That shit was not confirmed. That was just a weird mixed messaging sort of breakdown in communication thing, and it'll probably still come out for the system, which is cool, but so far it's not a confirmation. So we're looking at Just Dance and now this new Sonic game, and that's incredible. Like, honestly, the Sonic game didn't have to be coming to the NX for me to be excited because I'm such a Sonic fan and I own all the platforms, so I'd be just dying with excitement as is. However, it's coming out for the NX. They had a freaking NX logo at the end of that trailer, and that is insane to me, and it's very, very exciting. So last thing I want to touch on as far as Sonic goes before I get to the rest of the NX stuff is, I know that people want to say, man, this new Sonic looks great and it's going to be great because look at how good it looks, and I appreciate that. I believe in this game probably being very good, but we didn't see anything other than a CG trailer. They showed us no gameplay yet. They showed us the regular Sonic and the classic Sonic next to each other, so we know that if it's emulating what Sonic Generations did, that definitely bodes well for this game because Generations was a great game that was received very well. But we don't quite know yet, guys, so we need to wait and see. I believe in this game for a couple of reasons. One, because of the Generations connection I was just talking about. If that's what this game is or turns out to do, I think it's going to be great because the first one was great. Also because I've said this many times, everyone gets caught up in the, oh, Sonic sucks, he's been dead for years, it's time to put him to rest, blah, blah, blah. Everyone gets up in that conversation, whatever. Here's the thing. Sonic Boom is an unmitigated disaster. Without question, I own the game, I played it, I reviewed it. I can confidently say from experience, not from trending what the internet is doing, but from actual hands-on experience, that game is very bad. Now, before Sonic Boom, we have a trend of 3 pretty damned good Sonic games, and people seem to forget that. Generations was very good, Sonic Colors was very good, many people herald it as the best 3D Sonic game ever. And then we have Lost World, which I understand was not necessarily great and not so well received, but it was okay received. I think the meta score is at like 70 or 75. Sold okay. Most fans find that to be okay. I like that game a lot. It is not great. It's not as good as Generations or Colors, but it's good. In fact, it's worth the purchase for most platforming fans or for Sonic fans. It is that good, and it's gorgeous. It's actually very, very pretty. So you have 3 good 3D Sonic games in a row. That's a pretty damn good track record. Okay, this one game comes out not made by Sonic Team, made by a really inexperienced studio in Big Red Button, and they had to force the game out before it was ready. Yeah, we have one bad game out of 4 out of the last several years. To me, that tells me that Sonic is actually trending up. I don't know about you guys, but that's how I see it. So we have a more positive looking trend than a negative one. Even though we're coming off of the stinker, we still have a positive trend. We have a game that looks like Sonic Generations 2, and it's coming out for all the next-gen platforms, including Nintendo's. That, to me, speaks very, very well. But, again, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens with this game. I believe in it, but for all we know, Sonic has duped us before, and hopefully he won't dupe us again. And so here's the last topic that I want to touch on in this whole thing, is what's happening with the NX and third parties. I just find it interesting, and I think that I just wanted to kind of get this out on a video for you guys and kind of get your conversation starting as well. I find it interesting that at this point, we've had 2 confirmed and 1 third almost confirmed case of a third-party game coming out for the NX without Nintendo having confirmed or shown us anything. They've barely talked about the system. We don't know the price. We barely even know the release date. We don't know what it looks like. We don't know the graphics or the power or the controller, if it's backwards compatible or not. I mean, any of these things. We're still waiting on the official reveal of the freaking NX from Nintendo, as we all know. Yet we've had the Dragon Quest slip-up, which, like I said, is not 100% confirmation, but it certainly bodes very well for that game coming to the NX. And then we have 2 confirmed games, Ubisoft's Just Dance and Sega's Project Sonic 2017, whatever. So we've got 2.5, I would call it 2.5 games to be safe. We've got 2.5 confirmed games coming to the NX, all 3 third parties, and all 3 games confirmed by third parties before Nintendo showed us a goddamn thing about the NX. And like I said, I think it's interesting. I'm going to also say, I think it's good. I think that it shows that Nintendo isn't maybe so into having to control all of the messaging right out of the gate, and they're not so concerned about just showing us their properties like, oh, here's the NX, we all know what it's going to do, we're going to get a Mario, we're going to get a Zelda, we're going to get an Animal Crossing, and a this and that and the other, and a Mario Kart and Smash Brothers. Like, they could do that, and that would certainly be very exciting, but it would also be predictable, and it would be obvious. Like, we kind of already know that those games are going to come eventually for the system, and we already know that they're going to be great. That is, without question, Nintendo will not fuck up most of those franchises. That's what they do best. But we have these third-party games saying, before Nintendo showed us anything, I know I'm repeating myself here, they're saying, hey, here's our game, and this is coming out to the NX. Now, they haven't done anything exclusive, and I think that that is because we haven't seen the NX. But the simple fact that Nintendo was allowing these announcements to get out, and they allowed this weird NX logo at the end of that Sonic trailer, which still blows my mind. That's so crazy. It's pretty interesting, and I think it shows that Nintendo might be having a different approach to the NX going forward. They're letting third parties get some of their information out first. Now, we haven't had a confirmation of Resident Evil 7 or Call of Duty or, I don't know, the next Battlefield 1, like Star Wars games. We haven't had any like of those kind of big, more mature, focused sorts of games announced yet. I think they're going to come eventually. I do think those will happen after Nintendo first pulls the what am I trying to say? Pulls the cover off of the NX. I totally screwed up that metaphor, but you know what I mean. Basically, when they finally reveal the damn thing, I think that that's going to be when we start getting announcements of those games. But to get games like Sonic and Just Dance confirmed beforehand, I don't know. I think that it's cool. I hope that that means Nintendo's doing the right things and allowing third parties to get a little bit more mixed in with what Nintendo is doing in the game development of the system. I think that it's important to show that third parties matter and that Nintendo's considering them. And maybe it doesn't mean any of that. Maybe it's just completely random, and this just happened to be the time that these games were announced, and it was like, well, we got to announce it for the NX, and so here we go. But I don't know, it feels more purposeful than that. It feels like there's something behind it, and Nintendo was aware, Nintendo was cognizant of what they were doing, they wanted this to happen, they allowed Sega and Ubisoft to do this, and it also makes me wonder, does this mean that the NX is the actual final name of the machine? That's the really weird thing. They didn't say like Nintendo's next platform or coming to Nintendo's whatever. They literally said the NX. Both Ubisoft and Sega said NX. Sega had a freaking NX logo at the end of that trailer. Like I said, like several times already. That is really interesting to me. So maybe the NX is the final name. I might be in the minority here. I don't really want it to be the final name, but that's fine. I don't really care at the end of the day what it's called. I would like it to be something kind of, I don't know, different. I don't know how to describe it. I just don't necessarily like just NX, just 2 letters, but whatever. Like I said, it won't really matter what it's called, even if it is the NX. So anyway, what's going on with Nintendo and the third parties? What's up with these companies announcing games for the system before Nintendo's even showed us the system? Pretty interesting stuff. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. What do you think about Sonic just as a game? What do you think about this new reveal of Project Sonic and Sonic Mania and all these things? Tell me your thoughts on Sonic, because I want to hear if there are still Sonic fans out there like myself and some of the other guys I do the podcast with. And tell me what you think about the Nintendo NX. The announcements by third parties, does this mean that third-party relationships are getting better, or does it really just not mean that and it's maybe just a coincidence? Tell me what you think about all these things, of course, below. And hey, this is Rob of Rule of Two Review. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'll catch you guys next time on another video.